All right, so you get a potential client on the hook. Maybe it's from your cold outreach, maybe it's from a referral, maybe it's just somebody that said, hey, do you have a website I can check out? And you send them to a casting site profile. Now, it feels like you're giving them what they asked for, but what you're really doing is handing off that business opportunity at the exact moment it matters most. Look, the casting platforms, especially the pay-to-plays, the P2Ps as we call them, they feel professional, right? You log in, you submit your auditions, you tweak your profile, maybe even you book a few things here and there. It creates the illusion that you're building something. But those platforms, guys, are not designed to build your business. They're designed to keep clients inside their system. The moment a serious client wants to work with you, they're going to do what everybody does. They're going to look you up online. They're going to try and figure out who you actually are, learn a little bit about you and how you work. And whatever they find in that moment becomes the true first impression. This week's free resource of the week, our free source of the week, is a classic. It's our Top 10 Voice Actor Website Strategies ebook. Winning Principles for Designing a Site That Looks and Performs Like It Should. I wrote it so that no matter whether you're managing your own site or you're working with a pro, you can use these principles to build a site that looks great and works like a charm when it comes to converting business. It's a free download, and a link is in the description and show notes. Think about what happens when you send a client to a casting site profile. They land on your profile page, and within seconds, they can see thousands of other voice talent, suggested voice actors, similar profiles. In other words, options. You've now taken a warm lead and dropped them literally into a comparison shopping machine. You've killed any chance to control the narrative and replaced it with an entire system that encourages the client to keep comparison shopping for talent. Needs more Baileys. Look, you might not feel like an amateur, but there's an old saying in marketing, guys, perception is reality. When a client sees that your entire online presence is encapsulated in a casting site profile, that sends a message. It says you haven't taken the time and effort and energy to build your own platform. It says you're relying on somebody else's platform to represent you. And to a professional buyer, that comes across as early stage hack. And to a talent agent or a casting director, that's enough for them to move on without a second thought. Agents, producers, creative directors, corporate clients, these people hire talent all the time. They're used to seeing real businesses, clean websites, clear positioning, easy ways to listen, evaluate, download, and get in touch. When they Google you, and all they see is an online casting site profile, it creates doubt. And when there's a world of established voice actors already out there, guys, you've already lost. So this is where the shift happens. Your website, guys, is not a nice to have. It's not something you build later when you feel more established. It is the foundation of how you present yourself as a business. It is the one place online where you control the experience from start to finish. No competitors sitting right next to you, no distractions to pull people away. No somebody else's platform deciding what to show your client next. Look, there's nothing wrong with using the casting platforms as a tool. They can generate opportunities, oftentimes good ones. They can get you in front of buyers. But when a solid, especially a professional client, is considering working with you, they're going to look you up. They want to verify that you're legit, that you're worth their investment, and that you're easy to work with. Your website either answers those questions quickly or it doesn't. Now, here's what a lot of voice actors get wrong, especially newer ones. They imagine that casting directors are combing through online P2P profiles, comparing demos, and trying to discover hidden talent. They're not. They're just not. It never happens. Casting directors are moving fast, guys. They're juggling multiple projects at the same time, and they're trying to figure out whether you are someone they can trust. Look, when somebody lands on your website, casting director or not, they're not analyzing every precious detail. They're scanning. They want to know, do you sound like someone my clients would want to hire? Do you present like a professional? Can I trust you in front of my clients? And will working with you be easy? If your website answers those questions quickly, you stay in consideration. If it doesn't, you're out. Sure, a P2P profile can show your demos. What it cannot do is position you. It doesn't give you control over layout, over branding and imaging, over messaging, over user experience, and it sure as hell doesn't differentiate you from anybody else. It doesn't reinforce your brand. That, my friends, is what agents and casting directors especially are evaluating. Look, if all you have is a P2P profile online, agents, casting directors are simply not going to work with you because you haven't taken the time and effort to establish your business presence online. And to them, that simply reads as someone who is, quite frankly, not a professional. It's not personal, it's business. And this is where most people tend to overthink things. You do not need to build a massive website and make it a Francis Ford Coppola production. You don't need something overly designed and expensive. You need something that works. That means clarity, speed, and ease of use. If someone lands on your website and can't instantly hear your demos, you've already lost. Your demos should be top, front, and center on the homepage of your website, easy to play, easy to download, and clearly labeled. No clicking, no digging around, no scrolling. Clients should be able to hear your voice within seconds and easily understand where you fit. If someone wants to reach out, don't make them work for it. Your contact options should be visible from every page, ideally in the header. I recommend a simple contact form, but if you must use your email or you want to use your phone number, you're more than welcome to. The point is, the easier it is to contact you, the more conversations you will have. Next, scheduling. A slew of back and forth emails in this day and age is a massive waste of time. And sometimes that waste of time kills momentum entirely and you lose the business opportunity. Add a scheduling tool to your website, TidyCal, Calendly, I don't care which one. That will allow your clients to book time with you instantly without all the back and forth. It's a small feature, but it makes a huge difference. Your domain matters. I just had this conversation this morning with a voice talent. A custom domain, and we've talked about this in this video right here, is one of the simplest and easiest and cheapest credibility upgrades you can give your online presence. If your site lives on something like yourdomain.wixsite.com, it signals that you're not fully established yet. Next, even in a voice-first industry, people want to know who the hell they're working with. If you're going to put your face on your website, and I recommend in most cases that you do, professional photos add a layer of personality and trust to your site. Now look, the pictures don't need to be overproduced, but they should feel intentional and consistent. Most voice actor websites talk way too much about said voice actor. Clients care what you can do for them. Your copy on your website should communicate a little bit about what you sound like, but more importantly, who you help and how easy you are to work with. Add testimonials as soon as you possibly can. Even one piece of social proof helps build trust. Now, at this point, if this is your first site, you don't need advanced SEO techniques. Oh, there's nothing in there. But you do need the basics. Use clear, descriptive phrases in your headlines and your page titles. Add simple descriptions. Make it obvious what you do and who you serve. And that's enough to start generating some visibility. So what happens if you don't fix this? Let's play this out for a minute, okay? You keep doing what you're doing. Relying on casting sites, maybe some occasional outreach, maybe a referral here and there. And every time somebody shows interest, you send them to a P2P platform. First, you lose control. You do not control what they see next. You don't control who they compare you to. You don't control how long they stay focused on you. You've handed that entire experience to a third party. Second, you weaken, maybe even destroy your positioning. Instead of being the voice actor they're considering, you're putting them in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands of options. And that changes how seriously you're taken. And third, and here's the deceptive part, you'll miss opportunities you never even know about. Clients look you up, they don't find a strong presence, and they move on. No email, no feedback, just silence. And those are the opportunities that hurt most for me. You'll never even know they existed. Now let's flip the scenario. Same client, same moment of interest. But this time, they land on your website. They hear your demos instantly. They understand what you do. They see that you have experience and you've done this before and that other people are happy with your work. And they know exactly how to contact you. And that's the difference between hoping you get picked and positioning yourself to get hired. Perfectionism, which to me is a mental health epidemic, especially in this country, the U.S., keeps a lot of voice actors stuck. They spend an endless loop of tweaking and massaging and delaying launching their site because it's not ready yet. Meanwhile, they're still sending people to casting platforms. Look, your first impression does not have to be perfect. It just has to exist, and you can refine it over time. Once your site becomes live, and only when it becomes live, it strengthens your online presence because you're sending people to something that represents your brand. Your credibility goes up because you look like a business and not like a profile. And your opportunities improve because clients can now evaluate you without all these other options and distractions. Sending clients to an online P2P profile is one of the fastest ways to give up opportunities to other voice actors. You're placing yourself next to competitors, you're weakening your positioning, and you're signaling that you're not established and may not stick around. A clean website fixes that. It gives you control, it builds trust, and it puts you in a completely different category when it comes to serious clients. Stop sending people to a P2P. Build your own platform. Keep it simple and let it work for you. If this video helped you, if you think it'll help another voice actor, another creative pro, please share it with them. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to us on the audio podcast, we'd love a follow, maybe even a review. That would be lovely of you. The more strategies, tips, opinions, and information we share on this channel and in the larger community of voice actors worldwide, the better, stronger industry we will have for everybody, the better we'll be able to take care of our families and our clients, and maybe even the better world we will have in some small way. Thanks so much, and we'll see you back here again soon. I got to refill this. I'll see you soon.